engaging celebrity interviews, exciting updates from Christian filmmakers, movie reviews so you can choose your movies wisely, and so much more here on Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Faith on Film. Boy, do we have another one of those jam-packed full episodes for you today. Not one, not two, not three interviews, but several interviews. You see, a few weeks ago, Holly and I had the opportunity to attend the 2024 National Religious Broadcasters Conference in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I was there to produce the 51st Annual ICVM Crown Awards, and while I was doing that, Holly was backstage getting as many interviews as possible, from Gold Crown winners to presenters. She had a lot of great interviews, and that's what we have for you today. So without any further ado, Holly.
With me is, I can really say it's an old friend. Everyone says that, but it really is. Alex Kendrick from the Kendrick Brother Films. He and Steven have done so many amazing movies, starting with Facing the Giants and on up. And they've got a new movie coming out in August this summer, a very different movie that they've ever done before. What's it called?
It's called The Forge. It's actually in the same universe as War Room. It's not a direct sequel, but it's a follow-up. So the characters of War Room are also in The Forge, and it focuses on discipleship, which is a crucial need in our church today. So we tell a story of a young man who is mentored and then discipled by a Christian businessman, not even a pastor, and over about a year and a half, until he realizes, I want my life to honor the Lord in what I do with excellence. And so The Forge comes out in August of this year, and we hope that it makes the kind of impact that War Room, Overcomer, Facing the Giants, these others make.
Oh my gosh, and Courageous, so many. I mean, and the thing about this, are you in it? Are you starring in it?
I just directed it.
Because this is unusual. Usually you always have a role somewhere in it, right?
Yeah, I just wrote and directed it, and my brother produced it, and then we worked with wonderful people like Cameron Arnett, BJ Arnett, Aspen Kennedy, who you will get to know, and very grateful for the team.
Okay, what stands out about this film that maybe, you said it's kind of a War Room, but it'll appeal really to younger generation, all ages? Who's this that you hope
it will?
attracts?
You'll walk with a young 19-year-old named Isaiah, played by Aspen Kennedy. And he's got his own path. You know, he's into social media, video games, kind of his own thing. And when someone invests in him and disciples him to chase Jesus, he begins to realize he needs to live for something bigger than himself, to honor God, to use his gifts for the Lord, and what it means to follow Jesus in discipleship. In other words, to say, I want to be more like Christ, because ultimately, all the treasures we could lay up in heaven now, we're going to be in heaven for eternity. Mm-hmm. If you store up all your treasures in this earth is very short. Unfortunately, it's very short. So we talk about discipleship, laying up your treasures in heaven. It's something that ministered to me while making it. I was like, Lord, draw me closer to you. Help me be more devoted to you. And we hope that the same thing happens when audiences watch it.
So where, again, can they see The Forge?
So The Forge comes out in theaters nationwide and in other countries August the 23rd of 2024. And so you can go to theforgemovie.com to see the trailer and information about it, and we hope people will check it out.
Are you going to pre-sell tickets and things like
We
that,
are.
like you guys have done before?
Absolutely.
So we can start promoting that this summer and get it going on Faith on Film. Thank you so much for coming and joining me. So congratulations. I love this guy, and you will love this movie, so please support it. Okay, with me is the winner for the best talk show. Now, I was a talk show on KKLA for years and other stations, and I know what it takes to produce and do a show, okay? It takes a lot of work. Who are you, and what did you win?
I won for Best Christian Talk Show. My name is Bryant Eckardt, and our show is Tilt Shift.
Tilt Shift. And where's it out of?
It's out of Northern Kentucky, Hebron, Kentucky to be exact.
All right. So. And is it syndicated? Where can we hear it?
It's exclusively right now, and that might change later, but right now it's exclusively on our streaming platform, Answers.tv.
Answers.tv. And again, it's called?
Tilt Shift.
And what do you talk about?
We talk about movies and take and analyze the films. It's not a movie review show. It's more of an analyzation, that's the proper word for the films, and pulling biblical truths and other issues you might have with the film, but the good and the bad from the film in light of Scripture.
Well, congratulations. This is great, right?
Yeah,
for this
yeah,
show?
This is awesome.
Is this your first award?
Yeah, technically it's not my first award. Well, for me personally, no, it's not my first award. For Answers TV, I think it's our second award.
Oh, hey. We got some winners here. Okay, guys, tune in and watch it and see what they have to
Yeah,
say.
please.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, the Legacy Award. Tell the audience who you are and what you won the award for.
My name is Bryant Paul Richardson, and we won the award, the Christian Broadcasting Network, for Superbook, the 1980s version that started in the early 1980s through today, with the reimagined version that started in around 2011-ish until today.
And that's why it's the Legacy Award.
It is.
That's right. This is great. Did you producer or?
Yeah, I was one of many producers, on the show, and lots of people that worked on it. So.
And what does this award mean?
Well,
you guys?
to me, it means the power of the Word of God. The Word of God is amazing. I mean, you can see, I think that's the real legacy here. That's what I said in my talk there, that it's the power of the Word of God. And like I said in the talk, I don't know if you will have that, but it's sharper than any two-edged sword in Hebrews, that in Isaiah it does not return void. And so I think that's really the legacy, is the power of the Word of God, that everybody should read it, dive into it, because there is a lot of power there.
And then it continues. Where can people find Superbook?
Well, we're all over the place. We are on a lot of streaming channels. YouTube, CBN Family app is kind of where you can see most of the episodes. And then we have the Superbook Bible app that also has all of the episodes on there, and lots of games, gospel presentation. And, I would highly recommend that. Yeah.
Yes, so now you know where to go find it and look it up. It's for family and all ages, actually, really, but especially for families, and the power of the Word. That's important, especially for today's age. We need it more than ever. Congratulations.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Amen.
appreciate it.
Pray for him, okay? And pray for Legacy and pray for what they're doing as they carry the Word for the kingdom. So keep them in your prayers.
Yes, more translations.
More translations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm very excited about this because I love this movie. I've already interviewed the Jesus in this movie and the Mother Mary in this movie. And now we've had more important people from the cast and producer. With me is
Kristen Brancaccio, producer.
Catherine Lidstone, talent.
And, well, Catherine, what role did you play?
I played Juliana Burdon, excuse me.
Thank you. Okay, because 47 days takes place in prison, and then it also takes place. Explain what it's about.
Yeah, so the way that that 47 Days with Jesus is structured is it's a modern day story starring Catherine Lidstone and Yoshi Barrigas, and they play a married couple, and their family's kind of going through a time of disconnect, and they meet all for Easter, and Papa begins to tell the Easter story, and we go back in time, and we get to see the Easter story play out using original music and incredible acting performances by our cast. And throughout the movie, we see how the gospel story impacts the modern day family so that they can ultimately heal.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's a musical, okay, as well as a regular story. Which you think, so when you go back to the biblical times, it's all song, right?
By and
It's all
large,
pretty
although
much
I will
music.
say Cameron Arnett, who plays Pontius Pilate, there's no music in that
He has
scene.
a lot of very intense scenes,
Yeah.
which are just speaking.
So it's a mix.
Yes.
It's good.
Okay, now, Catherine,
Yes.
this isn't your first rodeo, is it? Or your
No.
first role? Okay, tell what you play, because I know. Tell what you starred in and what people may recognize you from.
You may recognize me as Mary of Bethany from The Chosen.
Yes. And I actually, because did you present here for ICVM a year or two ago?
No, this is actually my first time at
Is it?
NRB ever. And
Really?
Yes. And seeing the Crown Awards, it was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Because she was on the set of The Chosen. Were you in season 1, 2, and 3?
I started in season 3.
You started in season
Yes.
3.
That's when you get to meet Martha and Mary from Lazarus's family.
Okay.
And if you're watching season 4, you'll really recognize her.
Yes.
So you're Mary,
Yes.
who got to sit at the feet of Jesus, because I actually have seen it, and it is
good.
amazing scenes. And then Martha gets all catty with you. Why aren't you helping me? And then Jesus, I love that. I love that scene. I love the way it was done.
Exactly.
Because when you read it in the Bible,
Yes.
you read it one way, and then when
Right.
you see the way it's done, you're like, well, that makes sense, the way that they did it, I feel like.
And there are diehard teams. I feel like when you talk to any Christian community, it's always like, are you Martha or Mary? Which one are you?
Yeah.
And it's like people get really gung-ho about it, and I think the beauty of how they are portraying it in the script is like it's actually so revelatory as to realizing that both sides are so valid.
Yes.
Both sides
Yes.
are really chasing after a certain heart, and I think obviously we know which one Jesus prefers, but
he does
you
it
know,
sweetly.
He does it very lovingly.
He does it
Yes.
lovingly and
It's
kindly,
so
where Martha
amazing.
kind of feels bad, but then she
Yeah.
kind of like gets it. And because in the Bible, it's just kind of cold, hard facts. I'm like, well, Martha's not a very nice person. But when you see it, it really is a great scene.
It is.
It is
It's well
a great
done.
scene. And there's another good one coming up, which,
Oh,
you know,
we have some insider information.
that we haven't seen, because there's like a little raising thing going to go on. So, you know, for those of you who haven't seen it, you need to go see season 4.
You definitely don't want to miss that.
You don't want to
Yes.
miss it because it's important. Well, it's exciting. Very different role for you to play.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a period piece. It's a historical drama. And it's like, I've always joked in my acting. I don't think I was joking. When people would ask me, like, what kind of roles do you want to play? I always used to say, epic women of history. And then this booking came along, and I was like, wow, I really got what I asked for.
Wow. And then you got 47 days.
And then I did.
Yes.
I know. And what's cool about, I just love the fact that like we're going through all this emotional turmoil in The Chosen right now in season 4, and then you get to lighten your life up with some 47 days with Jesus for Easter. It's much more tenable, much more palatable, enjoyable, whole family adventure.
Now, where can people see it and when?
Oh, great question. So 47 Days with Jesus is coming to a theater near you. We're getting a wide theatrical release in the U.S., which is incredible. Well over 800 theaters nationwide. So mark your calendar, March 11th, 12th, and 14th. Tickets are on sale now.
Yes. And you just said you can call your theater, and in the last 2 weeks you said something like 200 theaters were just added.
So within the past few weeks, over 100 theaters have been added
Just from
showing the
demand.
movie. Just because
Yeah.
people are calling up, they're asking to see the movie. I think, they're recognizing our cast from The Chosen. They're saying, we want to see this movie. So that's really exciting. And I feel like as an audience member, like you have the power to say, hey, these are the kind of movies I want to see out there.
And if people, where do they go to a website or find out about it?
47daysfilm.com. All spelled out, no numbers.
Yes, that's important. 47 Days Film. Because if you put the number 47, it's a different thing. I did that, so I know. You don't get that. So 47daysfilm.com.
Spell out 47, yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to find out where it is, but mark it on your calendar to go see it. And then I'm sure afterwards there'll be a way they can still see it somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, still to be announced, but absolutely you will not miss it. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Thank you for stopping by to say hello, and you as well. And it's so funny because we found out like we actually had met on set at Capernaum, because I want to give a plug for Capernaum, because it was filmed at Capernaum and in the Village, which is amazing. So The Chosen was filmed there, and now you get to see another movie filmed there, and it's going to really come alive for you. It's an amazing thing. So thank you.
Thank
God bless
you for having us.
Thank
God bless
you.
you.
God bless you. Everything you do, we love you. You too, darling.
Thank
you. God
you.
bless you.
Bless.
Thanks, guys. All right. Okay, I am very proud and honored to have these two gentlemen standing beside me. I know who they are, but I'm going to let them tell you who they are and what they won the award for.
Joshua Walsh, one of the producers of Jesus Revolution, and we won the most evangelistic award.
Kevin Dowd's producer on Jesus Revolution. Proud to have this award.
Proud to have this award. And the movie, how it took off and how it started a whole revolution in itself. I heard that they thought you guys actually planned that movie to where it would cause all sorts of revivals, right? Like you planned that, right? Like God could do. Yeah, exactly. But how exciting to see what it's done, and is it still doing?
I think a movie like this is this is what I love about movies that are evangelistic in their nature. They're absolutely timeless, and they will outlive us like 100-fold. I mean, literally.
Yes.
And so, which is really great. And every generation that comes in will continue to discover what Jesus Revolution is and be impacted by it. And that's the true gift of making the film.
Favorite scene that you guys give a favorite scene for the movie?
Oh, there's so many good scenes in the film.
There are so many. I know.
I think there's a reconciliation. It was neat. It was not going to be in the original script, but at the last minute, co-director Brett McCorkle wrote in this storyline of the daughter of Chuck Smith, and Chuck Smith plays the pastor of Calvary Chapel. And they have this wonderful moment. She kind of starts the film as a cynic in the church, and by the end of the film, she's kind of won over. And it's a very sweet kind of reconciliation to the whole movie.
It is. Did it happen in real life? Do we know?
I think it did in some ways. Like, he had a couple daughters and a couple sons, and they were definitely a little bit more cynical in the beginning of his journey because he was kind of a failed pastor at that point, and his church was kind of struggling. And when he really had given himself up to something he didn't really fully understand, which is inviting these outcasts into the church and really evangelizing them, it also evangelized his children, is what I've been told anyway.
I lived in Newport in Costa Mesa area, and so when I first moved there, I had listened to Chuck Smith in Albuquerque under Skip Heitzig's Calvary Chapel Church, and I had listened to Chuck Smith when I was pregnant and had my baby. Like, listening to him every day, hours. So when I moved to California, I was so excited to go to Calvary Chapel and get to see the real Chuck Smith. That was like a big deal for me.
Yeah,
it was
of course.
like, oh, the real Chuck Smith
Oh, man.
that you've been hearing about and listening to, and of course, all through the years followed him and loved him. So I particularly love that story, and the baptism scene done by Pirates Cove, because I took my kids there many times, and it was fun to see that. And I heard some amazing stories that really happened when you guys were filming that scene.
Oh my goodness, yeah, there was baptisms happening while we were filming. Jonathan Rumi and then another pastor were like just baptizing people because the extras were asking them to be baptized. We were rolling cameras, like a 5-minute wide take.
Oh my
gosh. It was crazy.
So there's really real baptisms that were on screen.
It was kind of one of those life was imitating art moments.
Yes, and it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
And it worked. Oh, this is exciting. Anything you have coming up next on the slate?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Kevin has Ordinary Angels coming out this weekend, which is, Kevin was kind of a freak producer. He was producing 2 movies at the same time. So he would go to Canada one week and then be back to Alabama the next to produce Jesus Revolution. So he'll probably die younger for that. But that movie comes out this weekend. And then I produced a movie along with Kevin called Unsung Heroes with the Smallbone family that comes out April 26th.
Okay, you guys have to talk quickly about these movies because they're phenomenal, both of them. I've seen both of them. Let's do Unsung Heroes. I interviewed the brothers yesterday, so I've got some tape on them about it, which is amazing. Tell about
I'd
Unsung
finished.
Heroes.
Kevin had given me the opportunity to produce Jesus Revolution. That was my first film to produce out the gate, and the Smallbones came to me and asked if I'd be willing to produce the story of their family. So in 1 year, I went from producing a movie about the Jesus Revolution and revival to producing a film about family. And after I finished filming that film, I brought it back to Kevin. I said, Kevin, would this be something you'd be interested in taking out? And him and the guys at Kingdom Story Company championed the film, and they're taking out the story of the Smallbone family coming to America, really sticking it together, and just going through a lot of incredible struggles, and out of that coming their sister Rebecca St. James.
And Rebecca St. James. I told the brothers this story. I said, we used to work for KKLA, and it was a radio talk show host.
Yes.
So I got to do the 10, 9, 8 for New Year's Eve, and Rebecca did it with me. We were standing on top doing the countdown. We did the whole thing. Then she did a concert. So my kids went and played backstage with her little brothers, okay? So my son calls me, he lives in Franklin, he goes, Mom, you're not going to believe. My friends have this music studio, and like for King and Country, went over there and played, and they did some stuff. He said, isn't that cool? And I go, yeah, you played with them when you were a kid. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, well, remember when I did the countdown? And you went backstage and you were playing the drums back there with the boys? That was for King and Country. He's like, you're kidding me. I wish I'd known. Anyway, and I told the guys that, and they're laughing. They did a shout out. Hi, Adam. So it's just that fun connection of watching them. And then I was a producer on a movie, The Frontier Boys, and so we had her play the mom. So it's just watching those careers. So the movie, but the mother is amazing. And it really touched my favorite scenes on the playground.
Yeah.
When she takes the kids. And
I call it the burn the ship scene.
The burn the ship scene. You have to see it because it touched me. And as a mom, and I think it will a lot of people. And then let's talk about the movie opening up.
Ordinary Angels, yes. Hilary Swank, Alan Richardson, a lot of great supporting cast. What a great film John Gunn directed.
And who's the star from, you may have seen him on another show, Reacher?
Oh yeah, Alan. No, Alan Richardson star. He's in Reacher, and they're both great. I mean, it's as you know, faith films don't typically get good critics reviews, and then the audience shows up, and recently our films have been getting the good critics reviews, which maybe is good. I don't know. Not sure what that means, but I hope audiences get to check it out because it's a movie that really builds communities and lets the church be the hero.
Yes, it does. And Hillary is phenomenal, like really phenomenal. It's a complete different role for her and a different look for her. I said to you, it was kind of like what Blindside did for Sandra Bullock, playing that whole.
She's really great in it. And,
It's like Hillary playing that.
All the accolades she's getting right now are worth it.
Are worth it and deserved. And the whole thing, you're going to love it. It's a really come together, brings the community together, and miracles, and it's great. It's a great story, and it was a true story. So nothing better than those. Thank you guys so much for being, and thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
I know this woman. She is a sweetheart, and she's a dear friend. But I'm going to let her announce her name and who she is and what she won the award for.
My name is Amber Butaud, and I won for the best video podcast. And I'm just shocked.
Why are you surprised?
I am. But Holly, I'm going to be honest. I was stood up like, wait, what? This is so great. So
You didn't
humbled.
think you would win? But
No.
she has a great show. First of all, they do it out of her studio. Where's your studio?
Houston, Texas.
Okay. And the show is called?
The show is called Set Life, and it's inspiring stories of the entertainment industry. And we really just had this idea that all of us sit around on set all the time talking, and we should capture these stories and inspire the industry to foster community and share hope within the industry. And so it was Set Life. We're all on Set Life all the time at the studio.
And she first of all, owns the studio, correct?
I do.
This is her studio.
I do.
So I love to announce that because there's very few women in the industry who own their own studio and production companies, yes, but movie studios and television and commercial work as well, right?
Yes.
It's a challenge and it's important. So it's one of the few women I know who own one, and I think that's amazing too. Well, why were you surprised that you won?
Well, Holly, this is not, it's crazy. It's not been my dream to do this. This is God's dream, and I just was crazy enough to say yes to what He wanted. And, it's been a labor of love in everything that I've done, from constructing and building and designing the studio to starting the show and having so many amazing guests on the show and hearing their stories and being inspired by their stories. And it was just, a yes to just follow what God had placed in my hands, and to be honored for it is like, I just told somebody back here backstage, like, there's angels jumping because it's for them, it's their dream, it's God's dream to be able to do this. So yeah.
But you have a servant's heart, and you're a giver, and God honors the givers, and He honors a servant's heart because you do that. You do it out of your own resources and things to do this for people.
Yes.
And I know you do, and I think that's also. It's not like, I'm sponsored by somebody else. This is her hard labor that does it. Okay. Do you have a favorite podcast that people? First of all, where can they find the podcast? Let's tell them where.
So actually, we just launched a studio app. So you can go to the App Store and you can type in For the One Studio app, and you can get our app and you can see all of our shows on there. We have more shows coming, but this show you can see on there. Any place you get your podcast, YouTube and anywhere else. We have a few things in the work to maybe be broadcast a couple places, but that's to come.
So For the One.
Yep.
For the
One Studio.
Okay, now, is there one of the favorite, I know you have a lot, you can't, but is there one that people can look up and go, oh, and you love that podcast? Is there a guest that you had or a subject that you had?
Oh my gosh.
I know when you do so many, it's kind of tough. She didn't know I was going to ask her this.
No, and everybody I've loved. And you know what I love about it too is because we don't just interview maybe like somebody that's acted really big, but we have a heart to reach out and interview people that are behind the camera, like the young man that's behind the camera now, George, who's helping us. I just love to shine light on the whole industry, and that's so I've got episodes on there. There was a young boy who wanted to become a photographer, and he couldn't afford a camera, so he rented a camera, and then he flew across to LA and he couch surfed with his camera to get all these pictures to eventually buy half of a camera and then eventually buy the whole camera, and now he shoots for Texas Monthly and he shoots for all these big places. So I mean, they're how do you pick a story of this, perseverance, this overcoming, love the industry, sleep on other people's couches, kind of live in your car stories, and I've heard so many of them, and then we've had like people like Isaac that's been in the industry for 30-something years that has touched so many people's lives, and great stories of how he got into it and all he's done. So there's I don't know how many episodes now, but quite a few.
You can look them up and you can watch them again. Where do they go see them?
You can go to For the One Studio app, or you can go to YouTube or any place you get podcasts, and you can hear us, watch us. And we just rolled out a whole new season, so we just launched the new season.
And if you're in Houston, you can go visit her studio because she has an amazing studio.
We would love to see you.
Look her up, okay? Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
I'm so excited for you. Yay!
Thank
Congratulations!
You.
Love it.
Thank you.
Okay, Isaac, I'm exhausted. Are you exhausted?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
We have just done the award show and at ICVM, and we're so grateful for them. We love ICVM, and we support them. But it's been an amazing evening, right? Lots of guests.
It sure has. Well, I know here, I'm assuming you've been having a wonderful time interviewing people.
I have. And
I've been out there just racking my brains at making sure everything goes just right.
yes, yeah.
It did.
And it went just right.
I can breathe now.
Lots of happy people coming through that door for interviews. What are you holding in your hand, though?
Well, it was pretty hot out there, so I had a fan.
Stop it.
No.
The anticipation, I can't take it.
This is
We
the
won an award.
We won bronze for
We won.
Best Video
Oh my
Podcast.
gosh, we won something. I'm so excited. Let's see that. Wow. Wow. All evening I've been interviewing people who won awards, and, we got one too. This is great. What an honor. Best Video Podcast. Oh, that's great. Thank
Faith
you.
on Film.
We're producers. Yeah. Kind of fun, huh? Being a producer. I'm a producer.
Oh, and host.
And host.
Because we host the show. We don't just produce
host,
it.
We write
in
it.
fact, we do pretty
book
much
it.
everything.
We book it. We do everything on it, which is fun, though. I mean, we've enjoyed it, right?
Oh,
and
very
it's so much fun to see where Faith on Film has come from the very beginning of Isaac doing it by himself, and I would come on as a guest, and he would have me on sometimes to do movie reviews, and then I joined him. It's been like, 2 years now? 3 years? I lose track.
Yeah.
But it's been fun, and we've now got a sponsor, and it's just expanding to all different outlets, and we are having so much fun doing it. And it's a joy to do this show with people who are famous or celebrities or actresses, but also the people who are just coming out. Like we interviewed tonight people who did something and it's not even out yet. They're going to pitch it. They're going to hope it gets picked up. To people Alex Kendrick, and
Is he one of those starting ones?
he's not the starting one. I said to Alex Kendrick. To these filmmakers who, have gone a long journey, and Kevin Downs with Kingdom Story, and so many people. So it's been fun to see people of all different backgrounds coming on with telecast, films, TV. And the thing is that all of them had a heart for the Lord and a heart to share the word and a heart to say, okay, we're going to make a difference. And it's exciting, folks. We're not in a boring time of filmmaking with Christians. We are in an exciting time. And I love what I think it was Dan Ruppel said, because he's with Master Media, and he said a lot of people have a negative viewpoint of Hollywood, and they think, oh, Hollywood, don't do that. Because there are a lot of Christian filmmakers and people working behind the camera and in front of camera in Hollywood who are making a difference. And that is making a difference. Sundance now is asking them to come and present films. Sundance is asking them to come. Networks are asking, and other production companies, studios now are saying, oh, we want your film. So it's an exciting time to be in the industry.
Jesus didn't put down
That's right.
the sinner. He went to them. He was part
right.
of them. He became their friends. And that's, I guess, what we have to do with Hollywood. But wait a minute. You mean while I was out there working hard, you were here having fun?
Oh, yeah, fun. It was fun, though. It was. On my feet for the rest, but it was fun. That's why we're sitting down, because Holly can't stand anymore, okay? That's why we're sitting down. No, it was fun, though. Okay. And you know what? And Joel, we love Joel. He's our partner. And he gave me several guests that weren't even on stage out there, but amazing stories. A man from Israel who told the story about how he had just been in Gaza fighting in the military for 2 months. And he told the story about what happened and to his brothers who, are still fighting over there. Touched our hearts. We prayed for him backstage. So a lot of amazing, Kaya, a lot of amazing people were back here and hearing their stories and their journey, to the Lord. And so it's been exciting. It was a treat. It was fun being back here, I have to say. For me, it's fun.
I'm glad.
We had a good time, but it's a wrap now, right?
It's a wrap now. I'm going to bed. I'm tired.
It's a wrap. But thank you so much for watching Faith on Film. We appreciate you, and we thank you for blessing us and keeping us, in your hearts and prayers, and for watching our show. Thank you.
Bye now.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Faith on Film TV, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications on our latest Faith on Film shows.